Have you ever heard someone say they take statins as insurance? Just how good of an insurance policy are statins? After the break, we'll take a look at a quick insurance ad, and then we'll be back to discuss it. Stay tuned. Welcome to Ginormous Home Insurance, the policy with great coverage at a great price. Statistics show that only 7.5% of our insured homeowners ever file a claim. That's right, 92.5% of you will never need to make a claim, so you can relax knowing that you're probably safe. With Ginormous Home Insurance, our expert marketing team has used their massive knowledge gained from selling pharmaceuticals to design a home insurance policy that we can get you to buy. With our policy, chances are you won't lose a dime. Sure, you'll pay premiums year after year, but hey, that's a small price to pay for peace of mind, right? And to make things really exciting, we'll send our agents to your house to look around. There's somewhere between a 10% and 30% chance, no one is really sure, we don't keep track, that they'll damage parts of your home and even your possessions unrelated to those we've insured. We claim it's only 2% of our customers who have such problems. Our customers say it's 30%. Who are you going to believe? The experts at Ginormous Home Insurance or a bunch of disgruntled customers? The funny part? You might not even realize how your possessions got damaged. And if you ask your local repairman what's going on, he'll probably shrug and say, your junk is just getting older. You have to expect it to stop working. Even if you do catch them in the act, don't bother reporting it. No one will believe you. Now for that 7.5% of you who do experience a claim, don't worry. There's a 1 in 5 chance we'll help you out. Sure, it's not guaranteed, but the odds are still in your favor. Add it up. There's a 94% chance you won't lose a dime because we might cover you if something bad happens. Those are great odds. Call Ginormous Home Insurance today. And if you're still unsure, here's a scene of happy people dancing, just in case. Do not buy Ginormous Home Insurance if you have termites, live in a flood zone, or have no disposable income. Coverage exclusions include arson, alien invasions, acts of God, and forgetting to lock your door. Inform your agent if you are barefoot, pregnant, or in the kitchen. Ginormous Home Insurance is not responsible for agent-related damages, emotional distress, or existential crisis. Now, no analogies are perfect, and this one is no exception. So first, let's look at some valid comparisons. The ad may seem poorly produced and ridiculous, but it uses the same statistics and rationale often applied to statins when they're described as insurance against cardiovascular events. At first glance, taking statins as a preventive measure makes sense, much like protecting your home with insurance. After all, a 7.5% 10-year risk of a heart attack is alarming, just as a 7.5% risk of a house fire would justify purchasing a robust policy. But here's the catch. No one would buy the Ginormous Home Insurance policy because most people would hesitate to buy into a plan that only covers losses 20% of the time in the event of a catastrophe. For statins, the equivalent is that they only avoid a cardiovascular event 20% of the time. And when your absolute risk starts as low as 7.5%, that means only a tiny fraction of people, 1.5%, benefit. In practice, over 10 years, only about 1 in 67 people taking a statin for primary prevention will avoid a cardiovascular event. And in case you missed the analogy, the whole thing about the agents coming to your home and breaking things is the equivalent to adverse effects from the statins being put into your body. So let's talk about those adverse effects just briefly, because just like the ad's Ginormous Home Insurance agents, statins come with potential side effects that aren't always highlighted. Muscle pain, fatigue, increased diabetes risk, cognitive issues are just a few of the potential costs. I have videos on all of these adverse effects and a lot more. Imagine buying home insurance that not only provides minimal coverage, but also came with a 10 to 30% chance of your house developing mold or structural damage as a result.
Would you sign up for that? Now, in all fairness, we shouldn't carry the analogy too far. There are differences between insurance against financial loss, such as through home insurance, and protection against a heart attack. First, insurance doesn't prevent bad things from happening, except perhaps in auxiliary programs about home safety. The primary purpose of insurance is to reduce the financial impact of a disaster. Though the statistical benefit is small, it is undeniable that statins seem to prevent or at least delay some cardiovascular events. There's some limited evidence that statins might mitigate some of the impact of cardiovascular events, but certainly not all of them. A homeowner can take additional measures, installing sprinkler systems or having fire extinguishers available, and good safety habits. Statins may interfere with the analogous activities, muscle pain, exercise intolerance. I remember my doctor telling me don't exercise so intensely, as if that was a legitimate response to adverse effects. Or you can get increased insulin resistance. The statins can counteract some of your dietary efforts. Insurers can refuse to write a policy for high-risk home situations, and by that I mean factors such as living in a floodplain or in a high-crime area. Statins don't have that characteristic. High-risk people, those in secondary prevention, can take statins, though as I've found looking at numerous studies, the benefit is small even in secondary prevention. So again, keep in mind that the analogy is not perfect. So for my closing thoughts, the problem with calling statins insurance is that it oversimplifies the situation. A true insurance protects you from catastrophic financial loss with clear and measurable benefits. Statins, on the other hand, offer limited protection against cardiovascular events with benefits that only apply to a fraction of patients, and they come with real potential downsides. Besides the adverse effects, a false sense of security is one of those downsides. If you buy insurance protection, you expect the protection that you've paid for. It's not so much that you may end up not needing the protection. The problem is that you might not get the protection when you do need it, just like ginormous home insurance. Following a healthy lifestyle, just like installing a fire suppression system in a building, will do more to limit damage than statin insurance that won't live up to its promises. So the next time you hear statins described as insurance, ask these two questions. How effective is this coverage? And what is the true cost? Because only by considering both can you make a truly informed decision. There's some evidence that statins can improve lipid quality, not just lower LDL. For example, they can reduce small, dense LDL particles and even lower triglycerides slightly. But the real story is that lifestyle changes are far more effective at improving lipid quality. My own experience confirms this. When I was on a carbohydrate-rich all-processed diet, or the CRAP diet, statins didn't fully mitigate my high triglycerides, nor did they shift my lipids towards a healthier profile. Once I focused on a low-carb lifestyle, I saw dramatic improvements in my HDL, my triglycerides, and my LDL particle size, all without using statins at all. Statins shouldn't be the sole or even the first strategy for most of us. Patients need good advice, not just a prescription. Unfortunately, bad lifestyle advice from well-meaning professionals often leads to missed opportunities for lasting improvements. I'll do a video someday on the appalling dietary advice my PCP hands out. And this probably doesn't apply to most of my viewers, but some primary prevention patients simply find the necessary lifestyle changes unpalatable. To which I say, go ahead, buy the crappy insurance, but have no illusions about what you're really getting. So that's what I have on this topic. If you appreciate this content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on this or other topics you'd like me to cover. And if you haven't seen this video, I recommend you take a look at it now. Thanks for listening.